Alex G said that I cut him off, but that never happened. He's lying about it.
Everybody knows about the Alex G Bugatti accident because it's such a high-profile incident. We're also aware that Matt Armstrong is helping rebuild the car or whatever the plan is with that, but what we didn't know is that my friend Jonathan was involved. So we're gonna get his side of the story, the unaccounted for side of the story. You guys may have heard about the big Bugatti accident with Alex G and how Matt Armstrong is going to repair the whole thing. There is some controversy because, no one ever asked the other guy of what happened. I'm here to provide you with a non-biased point of view. We're going to hear simply what the other guy has to say who was involved, who happens to be my friend. And I didn't even know that until now. It's almost been a full year later. His name's Jonathan and he's right here. He's going to tell us his side of the story. Now, I never even knew about this accident. I actually saw his social media posts, which we're gonna go ahead and throw up on the screen. And it was a few pictures of the accident. I was like, what the heck? Is that a Suzuki pickup truck? Lime green, I think it was. Yep. Yeah, so I was like, I didn't even know Jonathan had that thing. And then I was looking into it and I was like, you know what? That's my boy Jonathan's account because it's not even his name there. So I was like, what the heck? And yeah, I thought that was pretty shocking. Now, when it comes to the insurance claim, I mean, that's a $6 million car, one of now 59, well, 60, because they didn't total it out. They decided to fix it. So he was saying that you tried to pull a fast one on him and do an insurance claim 7 months after the fact to try and get some money out of it.
About 2 months ago, I get this letter from my attorney, and he goes, hey man, just letting you know, Jonathan is suing you. What the f*** do you mean Jonathan is suing you? He's like, yeah, Jonathan is suing you for $750,000. Like, no. He's like, yeah, he's claiming that his back, his neck, and his right knee hurt. Like now, 7 months later after we crash, you can open up a claim against someone that we have already settled.
And apparently that's not even true, right?
No, I started the insurance claim like right off the bat, and I even told him from the beginning that I was going straight through the insurance. So he had told me like, oh, I'm gonna take care of you, we're gonna settle this ourselves. And I told him like, don't worry about it. I'm like, the whole purpose of having insurance is for this exact scenario. And I didn't want to go into it honestly without a lawyer because it's such an expensive car and it's such, I guess a delicate situation that I was, better off going with a lawyer. And regardless, he was the first one to put a lawyer on the case because I got a letter from State Farm almost immediately that Alex Gonzalez has put a lawyer, so I wasn't going into it without my lawyer.
So
he name dropped me early on too, and when I saw it, I sent it straight to my attorney because I'm like, I don't think he could do that.
Yeah.
Just drop my name publicly like that.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can, right? Because he didn't give you like all your private information, all that type of stuff. But
still, when I heard my name that first time, I was like, yo, he dropped my name publicly.
Now he did say that when it happened, you were pretty pissed off.
I hit a 1987 Suzuki mini truck.
No!
Mini truck? It's literally like the most expensive car on the road and the most inexpensive car on the road. When we hit them, I was like in shock for about like 30 seconds. When I got out the car, I see that the car is on the side and I see that it's like sideways. I go to help them out. When I open the door, bring them out of the car, he hops out. He's like, who the f was driving that car? That mother. He doesn't know that it was me driving, right? Like, you just think that it's somebody there that was helping him out. When I take him out the car, he's like walking to the car. He's like, who was that? I'm like, sir, it was me. And he looks at me and he goes, Alex G? No way. Yeah, but that mother suing me now.
You tip over and you skid, and then you have to crawl out of the passenger door while the truck is still on the ground sideways. And then you had like a scooter in the back too?
Yeah, I had a Honda Moto Compacto, and that little when he hit me, it went flying and it hit his windshield, and that's how his windshield got destroyed. And the funny part is nothing happened to the scooter. Like, I still use the scooter. He also talks about how I came out of the car mad, which I did come out furious. But the part that pisses me off is that he puts me like I was a fan of his, and I had no clue who this guy was. He had his Instagram handle on the side of the car, and I looked him up, and that's how I
saw that in the accident picture. You could see his handle on the side.
And then how he described himself to me was that he was the guy who streaked the Super Bowl. Now at that point, I'm like, oh, okay, you're the guy from the Super Bowl one time, but I didn't know who he was. I didn't know he was a trader.
He streaked the Super Bowl?
So he did it this year for the second time, but he did it like 2 years ago, and he streaked the Super Bowl, and that's how, like, when he's like, oh, I'm the guy that streaked the Super Bowl, I'm like, okay, I know who you are then.
That's kind of funny.
But I had no clue. Alex G, like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, so you weren't, oh my god, Alex G.
I had no clue who this guy was. He actually presented himself when I asked him, like, do you race cars or something? Like, what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm a professional drifter.
And you were asking him that because he was flying.
Because he rear-ended me at all. Bro, he was flying when he hit me.
So, I'm going to ask you this, too. Do you have the police report, right?
I do.
Everything
have the police report. Yeah.
That puts him at fault, obviously.
Funny enough, when the accident happened, there were cops on the highway that saw how he was driving, and when they pulled up, one of the cops was actually my cousin's ex-husband. And then he was telling me, he's like, yeah, bro, this guy was driving like a the whole time. And then, you know, obviously when he crashed into me, they weren't even surprised.
So he says he was doing the speed limit. That's what he repetitively says in his videos.
I'm going the speed limit, and I just hit him from the back.
Yeah, no. So my barber was watching his Instagram live right before the accident happened, and at one point he was doing 140 miles an hour down the Dolphin. So he was flying.
So I gotta say this. There's a lot of he said, she said, right, type of deal. But what does the police report say?
The police report describes how the accident happened between vehicle 1 and vehicle 2. I can give you the police report, just redact, you know, obviously the information and whatever. You can post it up so you can see.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see what they actually say and that type of stuff. But there's like no data recorder, because I know that some modern cars will record data in collisions, and briefly before it too, because they report it to insurance companies. Like, modern cars will do that against your consent. So I was wondering, was there anything like that in this case?
In the truck, no. The truck's
well, obviously not the truck.
The truck, no.
Yeah.
The
What
Bugatti,
year is that one?
96. He said it was 87.
Yeah, there's 96. There's not
There's
that type of stuff.
there.
But in the Bugatti, you know, you think a $6 million car has some sort of data recorder, right?
It might.
Because I know M4s have it, so.
It might have it, but he's not gonna post that information publicly. Same thing. They were recording the whole time.
Yeah,
the
but
accident.
you don't think the insurance went and tried to, you know, prove that he wasn't doing that type of stuff, or?
Well, they probably, if they saw the information, they for sure they found him at fault, because
Yeah.
he was flying, and there was no question about who was at fault. Even the accident report has him for careless driving.
So there's your answer. I mean, there's a lot of hearsay, this, that, opinions mixed into it, but at the end of the day, you are not at fault in that. And then on top of that, you posted about it, like we mentioned earlier, and people were saying, oh, why would you do that type of stuff? Or people were giving you trouble in the comments,
No,
right?
I had injuries. I do have knee pain. Like, I have my knee pains and stuff. I had to do physical therapy for a couple months. None of that was bull. Dude,
You're gonna feel it.
You can see the video. Like, I rolled, like I flipped on the side of the truck, and then the truck dragged across the highway. Like,
that's
it
not
wasn't
a
light impact.
That's not a light accident, fender bender in Miami traffic. That's a bam, you know, type of deal. So I understand that.
I haven't seen the video, but one of my friends told me that one of the videos. Well, somebody commented it on one of my posts that Alex talked about me wanting to sue for money, like needing the money. And then the guy, when he saw my Instagram and he saw the stuff with the cars and the bikes, he's like, "You don't need the money, bro." And I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm doing it because I have to cover my costs." Like,
Well, he could have taken you out right there.
He honestly could have killed. Honestly, if there had been a car in front of me, I would. If
You would have slammed in the back.
I would
of
have
him.
slammed into the back of the car, and those trucks, there's no airbags and it's flat, so I would have 100%.
Yeah, you're talking about like what, 90s technology? I mean, does that thing have ABS in it, or?
Bro, it's 90s Japanese cage truck. There's no safety.
What does it
equipment.
weigh?
15 or 1600 pounds.
Yeah, think about that. I mean, you have a 4,000 pound missile hitting you that fast. You know, what's gonna happen?
No, you're gonna.
Yeah,
You're gonna.
you're pretty lucky to walk away from that whole thing, and I don't blame you. At the end of the day, that's pretty traumatic, and I'm sure you did get injured because it doesn't sound like it was a light impact. You know, some people paint it out to be a. Whatever.
Yeah, it was like a fender
You
bender.
rear-ended him
It's
on the
like-
highway type of deal at the speed limit.
Nah.
But people don't even realize a 20-mile-an-hour collision that can seriously hurt you, even a 20-mile-an-hour. So,
Dude, both cars were totaled. So
Yeah.
it gives you an idea how impactful it was that both cars are done.
and you let the insurance take the car. You didn't want to fix it.
I should have kept it. I should have kept the truck. I wish I would have kept it just for the memory of it. But yeah, the insurance ended up taking it.
So you looked underneath and saw the damage, or?
Oh yeah, the leaf springs were up. The frame itself was bent. So at that point, I'm like, if I'm gonna have to replace the whole frame, I might as well just get another truck. There's no point in fixing
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is that a body-on-frame truck?
it. Body on frame, man.
Yeah. So I mean, you could get a new frame, but at the end of the day, are you
It's
gonna
for-
spend that money on that?
for what it's
How
gonna
much?
cost you?
How much did you pay for that truck?
When I bought that truck, I paid $6,000 for it.
Yeah. So why would you put the same amount of money
So,
in it to
there's-
fix it?
there's
Just
no
go get
point.
another one.
Exactly.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
And I don't know if you covered it already, but you said that he said that he cut you off, but he really didn't.
I want to find that video. So the other day, my friend found it, and he talks about like, oh, how I cut him off, and I never cut the guy off.
Yeah.
Nah, I was just driving, bro. Somebody cut me off, and I hit.
It doesn't look total.
I was in my lane the whole time, bro. I was in a K truck. I'm not gonna be going on the left lane, cutting anybody off. In a
Did
K
he
truck.
say that he was trying to overtake him in the right lane?
Yeah, he tried overtaking me in the emergency lane.
Yeah, so you pulled to the right because you saw lights coming up real
I
fast.
saw the lights flying at me. So then, yeah, my initial thought was it's a guy who's just left a UFC fight, and I'm about to get rear-ended. So immediately, I moved to the emergency lane to avoid the impact and just let him go by. And then he tried
Kind of
overtaking
like
me.
this guy's. You're thinking that.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Not
this guy,
that he was, but he's.
I'm thinking he wasn't.
This
he
guy,
wasn't.
right? You're thinking that in your head. Let me get out of his way. He's flying, and he tries to overtake you
On the emergency.
on the emergency lane and hits you.
And he hits me. Right
That's how it happened.
That's how. It
Okay,
happened, yeah.
that makes
He-
more sense.
He wasn't. He was sober though. Like that. He was definitely not. But yeah, like the decision to overtake in the emergency lane is crazy. Like you have 4 lanes to the left that are completely empty. Why are you gonna try to overtake me on the right?
Yeah,
And I'm pretty sure the car
that's
has
wild.
good enough brakes to slow it down fast enough to like.
Also, I just found a video of your truck flipped over on the.
Yeah, because I posted it on my Instagram post.
No, it was from a random person.
Yeah, because my
Yeah.
Instagram post went semi-viral. It got like 700,000 views. So I
Yeah.
started noticing people were using photos from there.
Really?
And they were putting, oh, look, updates from the accident. Bro, I posted that post. I didn't think anybody was going to see this. I just posted it for my friends. And then likes and likes. So I still get notifications on my phone of likes and likes.
So I
and
just
likes.
went mega viral.
I wouldn't say mega viral.
But how many likes is it out now?
A 20, I'll tell you right now. It's 26.7 thousand. And then it has 735,000 views.
Damn. So almost at 1 million. So apparently he also has the whole crash recorded because he was live streaming, right?
Yes.
And there was a cameraman with him.
So she was obviously involved in an accident. We're all good. I'm good. Sebas was good. He was in the car.
There was a cameraman with him, and then the cameraman coincidentally met one of my friends the other day and showed him the entire video of how the accident happened.
Oh, so
So my friend saw
you've
the
already
video.
seen it.
I haven't
You
seen
haven't
it.
seen it, but your friend saw it.
My friend saw it, and then my friend called me and told me, yo, I saw how the accident happened. And he described the video, and I'm like, yeah, that's how the accident happened. So he has a video,
So,
but he won't
so you
post
have
it.
this one story, right? And then you have your story, and then you have a video that tells the whole story, right?
He has the video.
He has the video.
He has the video.
But he won't post it.
No.
And that's crazy. And then he wants to go on and say this is how it happened.
Yeah, have
Like,
him post a video. Post
well,
a video.
obviously you don't have a way to get a voice out there besides your Instagram post. So that's pretty much why you wanted to talk about it
Yeah, because
to
he's
begin
just-
with.
He's lying about the accident. Like, the
Yeah,
accident
and then
happened.
he makes it personal, calling you out by name.
And then he makes
Yeah,
it really
Jonathan.
personal. And it's like if it was my fault, and it's like, bro, I'm in my lane. Like, and what sucks is I was trying to be cool with him. Like, I would even invite him to like car meets and stuff. Like as it would happen, I'm like, yo, he seemed cool enough. Like, if you want to come to a car meet or whatever, like we can hang out. And then he ended up texting me that he got all salty about the whole lawyer thing.
Mm-hmm.
And once he texted me that, I just let it be. I'm like, you know what, bro, if you're gonna be salty about this, whatever. Like, be salty then.
Yeah.
So he did invite me over to his house, and like we hung out there, and honestly, he was cool. Like he was a normal dude. The day after the accident, also, I went to have dinner with my friend, and I had invited him out, and he came out with his girlfriend or whatever, and we sat down. It was a normal dinner. He was super nice. Like,
So you guys were just like casually hanging out.
yeah,
after all
casually
this
hanging out,
happened.
and we found it funny because it was like, look at how you meet somebody. We met in the worst way possible
Mm-hmm.
after an accident, but it was chill. Like he honestly was a nice enough guy. He only got salty after the whole attorney thing. And then what bothered me was that it felt fake. Like the whole niceness on his part felt a little fake because then why change up so quick? Like there was no need.
So
for
you
it.
guys kind of like had a little bit of a friendship before the attorney thing happened.
Yeah, like it was normal. It was normal and fine. I ran into him once in Brickell. I was driving home, and he was in the SVJ, and I ran into him and I talked to him normal. And I'm like, yo, if you want to hang out, like because he's into cars, obviously. So I'm like, yo, if you want to do car meets or stuff, you're more than welcome to come along. So I would hit him up, and he never came out to any of them. But I was like, hey, I'm doing this weekend or doing that, and whatever you want to show up, show up. And then after the whole attorney thing is when he got a little salty about it. He's like, oh, I can't really speak to you anymore. And I'm like, okay, bro, like that's how it's gotta be. That's how it's gotta be.
Okay, and then he started saying
Yeah.
stuff about it online, or was he
Yeah.
always saying stuff about it?
To be honest, I don't remember it was before or after that, but he started making videos pretty early on about the whole accident. But I don't think he talked about it early on because of the whole journey stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty sure it was afterwards that the video started coming out.
Okay. I just want to clear the air. We're not making this to paint this guy as a bad person because,
No.
I understand. You make videos, you appear online, you get backlash for no reason. You're still a good person at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to
It
me-
just because of how you acted online doesn't really reveal your full character. But
Not at all.
at the same time, you're just trying to express that certain things he said about it weren't necessarily true in your eyes from your
Yeah.
account. and we're just trying to give you a different perspective.
I just want to clear it, and especially after you dropped my name, I didn't feel like that was necessary. Like, oh, you had to drop my name about it. Like, you know, you whatever, you want to make your content, you want to make your videos, I get it. That's you literally your job, whatever. But at that point, now you're lying about the accident, you're dropping my name, and that's not cool. But I mean, it doesn't make him a bad person or anything. I have nothing against him personally.
Yeah.
He seemed like a nice enough guy, and my interaction with him was fine, and it was a positive interaction. Honestly, like, I don't have any bad blood with him.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can understand that. You know, you guys got a friendship out of it, and then it went sour when the attorneys got involved.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how things go like that. So as far as like the rebuild videos, you know who Matt Armstrong is, obviously. He bought a house out in Miami recently. I just saw that. You keeping up with that and stuff like that?
I've seen some of the videos, but I haven't like kept up with it fully. But enough to know there's a lot of drama with Bugatti and Alex.
Yeah.
But dude, honestly, I hope he gets the car done. Like, that'd be pretty cool to see, you know, rebuild Bugatti by, you know, these two random dudes. Like,
yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
It kind of like shows that you don't need the establishment to get it done if it's possible.
Dude, it's all nuts and bolts, bro. Honestly, it's nuts and bolts, and as long as you have a fair idea of mechanical knowledge, you can get it. I don't see why you can't get it done.
I wonder what happened to your truck.
Dude, I tried finding it, honestly.
You think it went on Copart, or you think they scrapped it, or what?
Either somebody bought it for parts. I mean, somebody could have bought it to rebuild it. I don't know. But whoever bought it, dude, I wonder if they know that they bought the K truck that got in the accident with the
so if
Bugatti.
anybody that is watching this video right now knows what happened to that K truck, maybe we could match it with the VIN or something like that. If someone says, "Hey, we have a lime green K truck that we rebuilt,
that we bought from an accident, it was rear-ended. Like, there's only one.
Maybe it went on auction or something."
It was bought from it was sent to the Copart in Punta Gorda, Florida. And then it was bought from there. So
so somebody did buy it.
Somebody did buy
off
it
the auction.
Somebody bought it off the auction.
Wow. So it's somewhere out there. If somebody has it in Florida or wherever you are, let us know and see how it looks and how it looks now after the fact.
I hope it's back on the road.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So you got the Bugatti back on the road, and then the $6,000 truck. I guess like some gossip going around that like they know that the K truck got hit by the Bugatti, so now they're gonna mark it up like crazy.
Yeah. So somebody commented on my Instagram post, and that the guy had it up for 81 grand, and I replied, I'm like, where? Because I wanted to see, and the guy never.
So it might have been some BS.
It might have been BS, but if somebody has, I wonder who has it.
I'm gonna laugh so hard when someone flames me about my fake microphone and when somebody says,
we should have put the podcaster headsets
what the
on.
It's not even, that mic is not even plugged in. That's what they're gonna say. Yeah, like we're gonna take advice from somebody that doesn't even plug in their mic.
Bro, you know the Baton podcast?
So now you all have Jonathan's side of the story. I just wanted to reiterate that every story always has two sides, and the truth is up to your interpretation based on the accounts. Not anything what Alex or Jonathan said is a factual recollection. It's up to you to interpret it how you want to. With that being said, if you all enjoyed this video, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. What's up, guys? This is Zesty Wash, and I'm going to show you what it does today.